Tom Brady's recent performance with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers has many wondering if his career is coming to an end. Some people say that his career was as good as over, but then he decided to make a comeback. Tom Brady made a bold statement when he unretired last March, just 40 days into his retirement that clearly wasn't bringing him any joy. In fact, he expressed that he had unfinished business to attend to. But after his recent lackluster performance in a devastating 31-14 loss to the Cowboys in the NFC wildcard round at Raymond James Stadium, many are beginning to wonder if his career is truly over. Despite his age of 45, it's obvious that Brady's performance didn't live up to his usual standards. Just like betting against Tiger Woods and Michael Jordan has never been a smart move, the same has been the case for Tom Brady. That was until now. If we consider his recent performances, Tom Brady has spent over 2 decades proving the doubters wrong, ever since the Patriots drafted him in the 6th round 23 years ago. But in the NFC wildcard round at Raymond James Stadium, the 45-year-old quarterback looked every bit his age during the Buccaneers' ugly 31-14 loss to the Cowboys. In fact, this loss marks the end of the season for the 8-10 Buccaneers and the beginning of an offseason filled with speculation about Brady's future. What's more, he's a free agent now and has the option to stay in Tampa for a 4th season, play for another team like the Raiders or Dolphins, or even retire again. This time, perhaps, for good. So, it all comes down to how Brady feels about it. After the game, when the media pressed him on his future plans, Tom Brady candidly shared, "I'm gonna head home and try to get some rest tonight. You know, as good as I can with everything going on." In fact, when asked if he had a specific timeline in mind, he simply said that, "Nah, it's just gonna be one day at a time." Truth be told, playing it cool. But the truth of the matter is, his last performance was a reality check on what he's been lacking on the ground. Well, there's no denying it. The moment when the Buccaneers were on 2nd and goal from the Dallas 5-yard line on the second play of the second quarter really showcased that Tom Brady was ready for retirement. What happened was, as the Cowboys pressured him up the middle, he backpedaled in the pocket and pump faked before throwing an absolute duck toward the back of the end zone, with no one in particular as the intended receiver. To add insult to injury, Cowboys safety Jaron Kearse, who was just in the right place at the right time, ended up intercepting the pass and putting an end to the 14-play, 70-yard drive, with 14:51 remaining in the first half. This was all while Dallas was leading just 6-0. It was a harsh reality that even the greatest of players have to eventually face the end of their careers. But does he realize that maybe it's about time he takes the back seat now? Well, as the final whistle blew of the match, Kearse grabbed the ball tightly, basking in the glory of his victory over Tampa Bay. Brady gave an interview on his own performance, admitting that his aim was to throw the ball out of the end zone, but he didn't get enough on it. I have to say, this rookie mistake is typically reserved for inexperienced quarterbacks, and it was the first time since 2019 that Brady had turned over the ball in the red zone. Some sportsmen are even arguing that this was the worst pass of his career. In fact, he could very well be damaging his legacy if he continues these performances. Let's be real, folks. The writing has been on the wall for Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Firstly, he was wrong about the offensive line being good enough for the Dallas Cowboys. Secondly, he thought there were enough receivers to make up for the loss of Rob Gronkowski, but that was far from the truth. And then, he seemed to be very sure that Byron Leftwich could ace a game plan without Bruce Arians. But as we all saw, it was a bad guess. The result? The biggest stain on his 23-year-old career. And if it wasn't enough that the regular season was lifeless and weary, Brady exited the postseason in the most un-Brady way imaginable. And doing so, he didn't look angry. He didn't look broken. In fact, he seemed rather collected, as if his declining performances had prepared him for this outcome. And it's important to remember that Tampa Bay doesn't have enough draft picks, or room under the salary cap, or a map to the fountain of youth. So while it's true that Brady and Tampa Bay once did great things together, it seems like that moment has passed. And it'll take more time than he's got to plug all the holes on this roster. So let's not sugarcoat it. It's probably best for Brady to retire. But on the contrary, rumors have surfaced that Brady could potentially sign with the Las Vegas Raiders. But the former NFL star Rob Ninkovich thinks that would be a mistake. In December 2020, despite a 19-16 win over the Cardinals, Brady's performance was less than stellar, completing 32 of 48 passes for 281 yards and a touchdown, but also throwing a pair of interceptions. What's more, he's struggled with injuries, and his performances have not been up to his usual standards. Even his own teammate, NFL megastar Patrick Mahomes, has said that Joe Burrow is better than him for solid, ground-based reasons. And while the Buccaneers could still make the playoffs with their current record, it's uncertain whether Brady will return for the next season. He'll be a free agent in the upcoming offseason and could potentially return to the New England Patriots or move back home to the San Francisco 49ers. But Ninkovich believes that even if Brady does sign with the Raiders, it's unlikely that he'll have a miraculous recovery and lead the team to success. In fact, Ninkovich said, Tom Brady shouldn't really be playing football at 46 years old. I want to see him ride off into the sunset, go do something else. With an unprecedented career coming at a constant decline, perhaps Brady should try to put 2 and 2 together for himself. Well, it's not that Brady isn't one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the world at this very moment. He might very well be. Honestly, his arms are still strong, his resolve is unchallenged, and no one reads a defense as well. But on the other hand, there's been a big blow to his mobility, so he's now more than ever dependent on his mates. Of course, he can still win, but for that, he needs to be in a near-perfect situation, and that is no longer Tampa Bay. To be honest, no major team at this level would have a suitable fit for Brady. That sounds sad, but it shouldn't be. The man has thrown more yards, won more games, and played in more Super Bowls than anyone in history. And it would be a greedy move to push it further. Well, it may not be the ending he envisioned, and it might even be an underwhelming goodbye. But let's be real, he chose this ending when he decided to make a comeback. And he's not to be blamed alone. We were all pretty excited about his return, and we all were assuming the results would be wildly different. So yeah, Brady miscalculated the odds, but then again, so did we. All in all, he's had an unparalleled career, and anything beyond that is getting a little grabby. So let's hope this is the end of his career, and remember him for all the great things he's accomplished. That's it for today. See you in the next video.